Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Before you do anything in relation to this video, just hear me out. Number one, we have written 2 articles with 2 different viewpoints crafted by the same author. The other article we talked about yesterday, why Windows 8 will thrill users. So we've already talked about the good things that are coming down the pike. This video is going to be covering the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm the same guy. That's the same author. It's not a bias. We don't want anybody to win in this race that never ends. That's the thing. There can be no number one in the race that never ends. That being said, I'm sure you've formed your own opinion in your head already. I wish you would hear me out, because you'd realize that there's probably a little bit of being right that I'm about to share with you. Again, this is being done in conjunction with the 2 articles that we've written on Locker Room. The one we've linked in the video description itself. You can read along with me if you want, and you're more than welcome to agree or disagree. You know, it's good to have a dialogue about this stuff. Believe it or not, we like having discussions wherein we can engage one another and actually talk without accusing one another of being a fanboy of one thing or another. So I pulled up the webpage here on lockergnome.com, 5 reasons Windows 8 will disappoint users. I had to leave like a minute disclaimer on this video just to unexplain it before I can explain it. So I'm going to go ahead +1 that. I'm going to like it and tweet it out so that everybody can read along in the community. Now, there are 5 reasons on this webpage. I'm only going to read a couple of them because I think that's really enough to whet your appetite that you might want to read more, agree, or disagree. And just because you disagree doesn't mean you dislike, okay? They're 2 different things, okay? YouTube doesn't have a disagree button. FYI, just going to point that out. One of the biggest reasons that Windows 8 will likely disappoint users is a big reason. And you got to think about this hard. You burn up a couple of brain cells on this one, folks. Reading directly from the article, and I am in complete agreement with the author. Given the departure from the well-traveled Windows Railroad, we as consumers discovered that we could actually live without Windows. There was a time in my life that the only easy way of enhancing your computer was to walk into a store and pick an item off the shelf. If the item wasn't there, you couldn't get it. We now live in an era where we can download software willy-nilly. And in many cases, we could use any operating system and any platform to do what formerly we could only easily do on one platform, Windows. We don't really need Windows anymore. If we had a platform for gaming on the PC, would we not move to that? If that's all we wanted to do with the PC, you'd probably be crazy not to do something like that if you were a hardcore gamer and there was an operating system that was optimized for the thing that you wanted to do. So yes, there still is a place for gaming on the PC. But that being said, there are a lot more gaming options than just the PC these days. Whether we're talking about console gaming, mobile gaming, even streaming games and having just as good of experience on one other platform than the one that you've been used to. So I think the biggest challenge Windows has today, and it's had this for some time, but certainly as it rolls into the future, is living in a world where we just don't need Windows. I could live without Microsoft in general and still get things done. I don't need to install software to get anything done. This isn't about one company or another. I could go open a web page and use a service that would give me the same experience as I would have experienced on software that only ran on Windows a decade ago. Doesn't happen the same way these days. That's the biggest hurdle I think Microsoft has. But besides a flatline stock, forget about that. They've got some challenges ahead. I mean, and they knew that the internet was going to be a problem. They're moving as fast as they possibly can. If I need to create a Word-compatible document, I am more inclined to open up Google Docs than I am to fire up Microsoft Word, even if I have it installed on my desktop machine. Or as I pointed out the other day, I could use the the OnLive desktop app that I talked about to use Office for free. So I don't even need to pay money to get access to the same software. The same software. Maybe not having the same experience with the software, but I don't need Windows to use Windows now. And that's effectively what that piece of software does for me. And Wicked, I know you could argue that Windows still has value. I'm not saying that Windows doesn't have value. You're arguing a completely different point. I'm saying it's going to struggle in a day and age when the world just doesn't need Windows. You don't. You could use another operating system, whether it's Mac OS X, Linux, Android, iOS. Really, think about it. You've got so many options these days. Why do you need Windows? Ask yourself that. The biggest hurdle Microsoft knows it has. They do. And because of that, a new upgrade that, some new icons, some new features, some different experiences, is it really going to be that much better than what we've experienced elsewhere? Do we really need that? What's going to be the selling point? That's just one reason why Windows may likely disappoint users, because we just don't need it as much as we used to. It's kind of sad, really. Microsoft lost a lot of traction in the marketplace. It still has a chance. They are doing some awesome things. They are. Don't count them out. I don't. Lord knows I'm surrounded by PCs, Xboxes. I do still use Microsoft software, apps on my iPhone from Microsoft. So I don't hate anybody at Microsoft. I love them. I just don't know if Windows 8 is going to make everybody happy. Guess that remains to be seen. So hopefully you heard me out. Hopefully we can keep this this discussion civil as we continue down the path together and learn the path. Get it? The Windows path. C:\/ path. Does anybody still use that terminology anymore? You want to talk about dating someone? I couldn't get a date if I knew what that was. I'm sure I do know what it is, and I can get a date, but that's completely different video, completely different topic. If you like it, please share this video, and feel free to link back to it on your own blog. This video as well as the blog post on lockergnome.com. Oh, by the way, as a bonus for everybody who tuned in to the end, I happen to be an MVP for Microsoft Windows. Just FYI. Okay? But that doesn't mean that I can't look at something for what it is. I have to do that. It's what keeps me balanced. As balanced as I possibly can be. I can't wait for Windows 8. But I know that some people are like